Hello and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I'm going to review the 1988 Cu Bocan Tomatin, okay? 1988 Cu Bocan Tomatin, from memory it is 27-year-old. Look, I'm not even entirely sure, but look, from memory it's about 27 years old, but it's a 1988 Cu Bocan cask strength Tomatin, 51.5%. Presented in a beautiful black bottle, very modern looking, 1,759 bottles. Look, the Cu Bocan is a mythical ghost dog of the Highlands, a mythical creature of the Highlands. I mean, the symbolism is probably because, you know, it's a bit of a beast, it's mysterious, and a black bottle, who knows. But bottom line, I want to review this today because it is somewhat of a, it's not the easiest bottle to find. It is a very old Tomatin, and I've only reviewed one Tomatin ever. And as you all know, I find Tomatin to be a boring as shit kind of whiskey. I mean, I find it boring as hell, but with some age on it and some ABV on it, it does tend to deliver more than the usual Tomatin fare. So let's start pouring. You know what, let's do a little bit more. It is early in the morning after all. You know, pre-breakfast dram, eh? Pre-breakfast dram. So, Tomatin, usually boring as hell, but let's review this with some age on it, 1988. Let's get nosing. I would say that this particular bottle is predominantly bourbon cask. I always say that. I always theorize, but I don't actually give a shit. Citrus, lime, lemon peel, lemon juice, sickly sweet coconut. It has some fire to it. I'm letting it breathe a little bit in the butt plug glass, as you can see. This is a 1920s blender's glass. I use it because it does let me nose it really, really well. It's not my go-to glass to drink. Why? Because it's actually really annoying to drink out of in a way, because it's like so bulbous. But if you really want to appreciate the nose of the whiskey, man, I've found nothing that can beat this. There's a steely note to it, slightly minerally, hint of smoke. Simple sugar syrup, dried apricots, and now that I've nosed it a little bit more, let it breathe a little bit more, I am getting a distinct earthiness to it, soily, wet soil, like a bag of soil you just got from the garden store. Very intriguing nose so far, and this is what I mean by when you have a bit of age on it and cask strength, you do get a lot more out of a Tomatin. I mean, when you get your standard Tomatin out of the shop shelves, they're boring as shit. I mean, I just don't even bother. But when you do, look, I don't want to sound like a snobby person, okay? It's not about that. It's more, there are more interesting whiskies out there for the same price, right? They're more delicious, but not to say that Tomatin isn't delicious. It's just not anything, you know, I'd launch 1,000 ships for, you know what I mean? But let's get sipping. Let's get sipping. Oh wait, I'm getting a bit of greenness to it as well. Like wet grass. Let's get sipping. Wow. This thing has some fire on it. It's very expressive. It's got a jalapeno heat, but not lingering too much. Definitely lemon juice, lemon peel, citrus, a little bit of a sourness to it from the lemon, from the citrus, followed by a distinct sweetness and a little bit of fire there. This is what's awesome about it. Everyone thinks when you have an old whiskey, it's got to be smooth. It's got to be smooth. No, no, no. It doesn't have to be fucking smooth, okay? If you want smooth, go and get a boring Glenlivet. Go and get a boring Glenlivet. Or go and get the normal distillery bottlings of that you get from the liquor store off the shelf. That's smooth, okay? Those are designed for the Japanese, Chinese palate that wants smooth. What I want is a drink that is flavoursome, compelling, interesting, and slightly, in some respects, slightly challenging. Okay, that's my go-to. That's my, Goldilocks zone. It's got a floral note to it as well. It's got some jasmine, honeysuckle. The citrus is definitely a theme. It's quite a lightly wooded whiskey, so the barrel influences, it's not heavily tannic, it's not heavily wooded. I'm getting a bit of spice, white pepper, candied ginger, definitely candied ginger. I love the body, the fire, the finish, significant. It lingers. Not a hint of new make in there. So the spirit is very well developed, very well aged, fantastic. So I'm not getting any of that passion fruit banana type flavors in there. But still, the ABV is what impresses me. 51.5%. It's an old whiskey and it's not that high, but man, it still packs a punch. It still packs a hell of a body and viscosity in your mouth. Absolutely delicious. I mean, would it be my top 10 whiskey that I've ever had? Well, that's a hard call to make. But no, it's not. But is it an excellent whiskey? Shit, yes, a great whiskey. Is it a great whiskey for a Tomatin? Even better of a comparison for a Tomatin. I'm starting to get a bit of earthiness come through. That wet soil translates to more like a freshly varnished wood. A hint of nail polish in there, like just a drop of nail polish in the note. But it's an aggressive whiskey for such an old whiskey. It is relatively aggressive. It's not in any shape or form smooth, okay? It's not smooth. It's a relatively aggressive whiskey, but not offensive. The burn is just right. It's just a couple of slices of jalapeno in a meaty, earthy taco, as opposed to some habanero sauce, some ghost chilies that just makes you weep. It's nothing like that. It has got some aggression in there, but it's not offensive. I would say it is like the Daniel Craig 007. He's still suave, but he's not pretty. You know what I mean? He's not pretty like, what's that guy's name? Pierce Brosnan. He's not pretty. He's got some roughness to him. That's what I think it is. This is an excellent, excellent dram. Would I recommend getting it? Yes, I would. Yes, I would recommend getting it. I mean, in saying that though, are you a fan of Tomatin? I mean, I haven't had enough Tomatin per se to say I'm a fan of Tomatin. I've tried a few Tomatins in the past, the standard ones, and a 30-year-old Tomatin, distillery bottling. And I've liked a 30-year-old. The other ones, they're just boring. Would I recommend getting it? Yes, I would, because for a Tomatin, it's a great example. And also, it's a great whiskey. Is there better whiskies out there for the price? You know what? Yeah, I reckon you could do better for the price, because it is a Tomatin. But, not being judgmental on Tomatin, it is very different. It is quite aggressive, and it's not something that I would sit on all night and just drink the bottle with the group. It is something that I would probably start the night with or finish the night with. Lemon peel and ginger. That is the two, if I can sum it up, lemon peel and ginger. A slight herbal note to it, but lemon peel, lemon juice, candied ginger, white pepper. Cigar pairings. Well, I think that this is ballsy enough to handle pretty much any cigar you throw at it. So you do your thing. You can pair this with any cigar you want. I think it will withstand the test of nicotine and tar there. I don't think I've got any recommendations for what kind of cigars to pair with this. My personal, I think I'm thinking about it now, my personal preference if I was to have this with a cigar, I'd probably have it with a, ooh, it's a hard one. You know what? Because it is quite a zesty whiskey, it's a zesty drop, a bit spicy, I'd probably pair it with a sweeter Maduro. A Liga Pravila line or a Maduro, I think would probably be a better match for this, although I think that it can handle any cigar you throw at it. Until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. Thank you, and let me know, have you had this particular bottle before, or have you had the earlier iterations of this bottle before? Let me know. Cheers.